as we were discussing about yesterday about shrinkflation and greedflation, two new economic terms. Today we're going to see another term called as skewflation. Now, skewflation is another term which is frequently seen in newspapers. All we can say is that the basic definition of skewflation is that skewflation is the inflation which will only affect one particular sector. The best example for that is what? If you see the prices of onion and potato and tomato today, especially during the monsoon season, there is a stress on these vegetable products only. What is the stress? That inflation. So basically the inflation is going to affect only one particular products, and the other sectors of the economy may not be affected by inflation, and some sectors of economy may also face deflation also, but only few products will face severe inflation. As I told you, the best example is, for example, if you see the Wayanad landslide also. Because of the Wayanad landslide natural disaster, the people over there would be experiencing skewflation. For example, the vegetable prices would suddenly increase. So this skewflation is focused for only a few particular months of time, not regularly. Okay. So this is about the skewflation. And one more important thing I have to tell you, if I have to differentiate between the skewflation and the inflation, is that inflation can be caused by demand pull factors as well as cost push factors. Okay. But whereas all of you understand what is demand pull, right? Whenever there is an effective demand, then demand pull inflation will arise. But whereas skewflation, it will generally not be affected by demand factors. It will be rather affected by cost push factors, or called as supply side shocks. Because if you see tomato prices rising high, if you can see the last year also, and now the onion prices rising and the potato prices rising, this is only related to supply shock or the supply side factors. So if you can differentiate between the both, skewflation is generally occurs and it will only impact a certain part of economy. Okay. So whereas inflation in general will affect every sector of the economy. And the best example of it is if there is a price in oil. I mean, if there's a rise in the oil prices, it will impact the overall economy. But whereas in skewflation, if you see, if the vegetable prices rise high, there will be only inflation in the food sector. Even if you can define the core inflation also, core inflation is excluding the energy and the food sector. Whereas the headline inflation will include both food and energy sector also. Okay. So with this, you would have understood what is skewflation. So thank you for the video.